Hello there and welcome to Scotland for round 7 and 8 of the British GT Championship. Now, as the season unfolds, it's a pretty open competition. We've seen wins for the Ferrari, Viper and Mosler. So it'll be interesting to see who has the upper hand around this tight, twisty Knockhill circuit. This track is by far the shortest that we go to and is guaranteed to keep the action close.
Well, actually, I think it's far from home.
I like it, I have to say. Some people hate it, I like it.
Like a mad carousel. There's not 1 second of a lap where you can relax around here.
Tricky and difficult and shorty, and
it's definitely a short circuit, you know, for the shorter wheelbase cars.
Clearly left the best till now, and it's great to be home at Knockhill.
2 weeks ago at Rockingham, we saw just how close this competition is with two absolutely thrilling races. For Phil Burton and Adam Wilcox, Rockingham was by far their most successful weekend in a long time and finally saw them back on the podium.
Yeah, it was a great result for the whole team. We had so much bad luck for the last, feels like 55 years, but it's only been a year or so. But yeah, it was a great result. It was nice to be on the podium. It was nice to finish the race, actually, so to be on the podium was a bit of a bonus.
What made the difference that weekend?
The team, really. Rowan Racing, who's running the car, has done a fantastic job. He's totally turned it around from sitting on the grass watching the races to actually taking part, so that's been a big help.
For Matt Griffin, though, the weekend didn't quite go to plan. The race had barely got going when his Ferrari developed an oil leak and burst into flames, bringing out the safety car.
Mike, team manager, came on the radio and told me that I was on fire. It was the first I heard of it, so I just found the closest marshal's post I could. And it was more so, when you have a fire in the car, it usually gets bad when you stop, because obviously as you're driving, you know, the wind is blowing it or whatever. So yeah, but the flames were high, but it was mostly the oil and the fluids burning, not actually the car, so I think it definitely looked worse than it was. And I was okay, which for me is the main thing.
So with 6 races gone, Dan Brown in the Mosler is back at the top of the table with a slim 3-point lead over the rest of the field, but that could easily change after today. This weekend, the Chad Racing Ferrari has a slightly different lineup. Regular driver Chris Hyman is joined by Argentinian Jose Balbiani.
It's good to see him again. We're not teammates, but we were in a team together in Europe when we were in the FIA GT3 about a year and a half ago.
well, it's great. I know him from last year with Kessel Racing and the Ferrari, and he's a really good guy and very consistent. He's all the time learning from other drivers, from other councils, and today it was really fast from being his first time in the circuit, and I think we both together are a good silver pair to get a good result for tomorrow.
Race 1 happened on Saturday afternoon, so here's Martin Haven with all the action.
The silver Ascari of David Jones led away from championship leader Dan Brown's Mosler, and David was not going to give away the lead. Contact in the first corner, a taste of things to come. Chris Hyman's mistake cost the Ferrari 3 places, but it would stay in the race. The GT4 battle was a close one. Ian Stinton holding the upper hand over points leader Jody Firth until mechanical fault intervened, handing Jody another win. More mechanical woes proved the downfall of Duncan Cameron in the M-Tech Ferrari. It had been a tight battle out front between the Mosler of Dan Brown and the Ascari of David Jones, and after the pit stops, the Ascari was out front narrowly with twin brother Godfrey at the wheel. Gregor Fiskin's first time around Knockhill was not an easy one. He was being assaulted from all sides. The Mosler shuffled back down the order as the Joneses hung on to take their first win of the year. Confirmation then of Jody Firth's GT4 win and 2 Ferraris on the podium. Lester and Dowdy, Burton and Wilcox third and second, but the Joneses happy on top, the overall winners.
In a way, I thought, oh no, not a safety car coming out. But to be fair, it made a bit more of a race of it at the end, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had to push real hard right to the end.
Do you like this circuit?
Oh, I love it. It's fantastic.
So for round 8, we've had a slightly delayed start here at Knockhill. As you can see, the weather conditions have changed dramatically, so all the teams have had to come back in and they've been scrambling around changing tyres before they get off for a wet race.
Well, real drama here as you saw the mechanics rushing to fit tyres and to try and change the suspension a little to suit the wet weather conditions. It is absolutely streaming, ready for the start of round 8 of the Avon Tyres British GT Championship. The red Ferrari of Matt Griffin sits on pole, ahead of Godfrey Jones, the Race 1 winner in the Ascari, and up the hill they stream into the water and a cloud of spray immediately kicked up. Very quick start by Matt Griffin, leapt ahead. Godfrey Jones in second place. Third place is Stefan Dowdy, the red Ferrari with the Shamrock, the Rosso Verde car, and he's ahead of Adam Wilcox on board with Dowdy, and that's Godfrey Jones making a mistake. He goes off. So Dowdy up into second position. Very slippery here indeed as they bounce over the chicane. He drifts out wide and Godfrey Jones coming through on the inside, making a move for second place. And he's got the line. Precious little grip available. He slithers through just in front of Stefan Dowdy, and immediately we almost lose sight of him in the spray. It really is very wet indeed. Pit lane, of course, right on the crest of the hill is about the driest place there is. Dowdy in third place, drifts out wide. Adam Wilcox looks inside in the white Ferrari number 12. Pushing up behind him, Aaron Scott in the Viper. This is second, third, fourth and fifth. Leaders already gone. And for everybody else, so has the track. It's vanished in the spray. Here comes Godfrey Jones down the hill in second. Adam Wilcox will take third. The white Ferrari goes through and Aaron Scott makes a mistake, gets the Viper inside. Jose Balbiani jumps across the curves in the red and white Ferrari. The Viper tries to fight back. We're right behind with Gregor Fiskin in the Mosler. Oh, don't go three wide through there. Oh, the Ferrari's gone off. Viper's on its own in front of us. So, yes, the Viper has made the place back. The Ferrari is right there. Now let's have a look from on board with Aaron Scott. Adam Wilcox goes down the inside, gets through, but contact, well, I'm not sure that was Aaron Scott's fault. That was just a 50-50 call. And Balbiani bounces across the apex of the corner, just makes it through. Here is our GT4 lead battle. Jody Firth's regular partner Nigel Moore is racing in the Le Mans 24 Hours this weekend, so Jody's on his own, and he is right in front of Paul Marsh. Marsh sharing with Ian Stinton this weekend. Oh, and a mistake! Jody Firth keeps his head though, drives across the gravel trap and bounces across the grass. That's it, nice smooth inputs, you'll survive. Good control, bit of a rally driver style there, but managed to keep the car all in one piece and only lost a little bit of ground. Here's our race leader. Well, Matt Griffin really now starting to stretch the legs of the Ferrari. This is the absolute latest from Maranello. All the extra little body modifications and dive planes on his Ferrari. Here's the battle for 7th, black car Gregor Fiskin with Jose Balbiani, the Argentine, trying to move alongside. Both of them new to Knockhill, both of them very new to a wet Knockhill. So learning as they go. Gregor bringing the big car down the outside where most of the grip should be, takes the line. And two cars very close right in front. That's the battle for 5th position. And again, a Ferrari involved as Balbiani dives through on the inside. He moves up to 7th. Gregor Fiskin in 8th position. And critical now just to keep the car on the road, not make any mistakes. Big Mosler just being out-handled little by the Ferrari. Balbiani really enjoying himself, clearly. Not sure that Gregor is having the best time in the car. This is the battle for 5th then. Stefan Dowdy, the red Ferrari, and Michael Bedford in the big Ford GT. Both V8 engine cars, but both very different in nature. Let's see if the Ford's got anything to show over the run up the hill. Not yet. Stefan Dowdy hangs on. Very experienced, the Frenchman, racing in French GTs and FIA GTs for several years, and Fiskin is off. Well, that's not going to help championship leader Dan Brown. They will get to Gregor and try and help him out, but it looks as though the safety car is coming out to pick up the leader, so Fiskin's car is clearly buried in the gravel there somewhere. And here comes the race leader. That is bad news for Matt Griffin. He's opened up a big margin, and now his rivals will be able to close right up. But look how bright it is now. Been a bright and sunny day right up to the cloudburst as the cars are on the grid waiting to go away on the formation lap. There's a lot of white cloud in the background, but it is bright and sunny now. Certainly no sign of rain. Gregor Fiskin sitting there steaming in the heat. And as we ride on board, let's have a listen. Well, just carried a tiny little bit too much speed in. I wonder if those wet tyres are starting to give up a little bit under braking. Gregor's back out then, dropping a little bit of gravel. He's 4 laps behind as Matt Griffin, Godfrey Jones and Adam Wilcox lead the charge at the restart. Griffin, the red Ferrari, silver Ascari of Godfrey Jones, white Ferrari of Adam Wilcox. That's the top 3. The Vipers in 4th and Jones challenging for the race lead. On board with Stefan Dowdy, he's subbing in for Alan Simonson alongside Hector Lester. Simonson also racing in the Le Mans 24 Hours this weekend instead of being here at Scotland. So chance to drive in some very mixed conditions for the Frenchman. Matt Griffin still leads from Godfrey Jones and the pit window is just about to open. Track drying rapidly in Knockhill in Scotland, round 8 of the British GT Championship. The pit window is open and straight in comes Stefan Dowdy. Now there's no question that by the end of the race you will not be able to survive on your wet weather tyres, so it looks as though they're going early for a change onto slicks, dry weather tyres, and I would have thought maybe that stuck behind the leader the Joneses should have done as well, but they decided to stay out a little longer. Slick tyres going on then, and you can do the driver change and the tyre change at the same time. Here comes the move for the lead. Godfrey Jones looking inside Matt Griffin. He's just squeezed by the Ferrari. Good move. Aggressive too. The Ferrari's been getting a little looser. Oh, and Hector Lester straight out of the pits and straight down the muddy side of Duffer's Dip. Changed his mind about the speed halfway through, was not quite convinced he got the grip, but lifting off was the very last thing he should have done. Now then, Gregor Fiskin is in. This car's 4 laps down as he hands over to points leader Dan Brown. They too change for slicks, and the Viper has got dry weather tyres waiting as well. Aaron Scott is out, Craig Wilkins will get in. Feverish activity. The teams really know they can make a big difference here with these pit stops. Jose Balbiani handing over to Chris Hyman with the South African helmet. And again, the team getting to work. In trouble with the gun, out comes the Viper. Diana is down in the pits with starting driver Aaron Scott.
Aaron, it's turning out to be quite an interesting race today.
Yeah, I think there might be a few unhappy people after this one, but hopefully as long as we're happy, that's the main thing.
How did it go for you?
It was good, and when it was very wet at the start, the car was really good. As it dried up, it was a bit more difficult. It's a tricky circuit for the car, but it's now good again on slicks. I had a small touch with the red Ferrari at the start, but and a quick spin, and that delayed us a bit. But the safety car got us back in position, and now we're looking okay.
Oh, but trouble for the GC4 race leader. Jody Firth is beached in the gravel, and that surely will bring the safety car out as well, and that could change the face of the race. Adam Wilcox is in from 3rd, Godfrey Jones in from the lead, and the Ford GT gets ready to go back out. So Michael Bentwood has handed that over. Here is our leader then, Duncan Cameron. And coming in for a stop-and-go penalty. This is very bad news for the locally based team. Rosso Verdi are based here at Knockhill, and Hector Lester having to serve a stop and go because Stefan Dowdy was speeding in the pits. Behind the white Ferrari of Phil Burton in 4th is the race leading battle, Duncan Cameron and David Jones, but Jones has been handed a stop and go as well. Twin brother Godfrey speeding on the way into their pit stop. There's the man at the top of the hill in the white shirt with the speed gun, so be careful again. And the 21 Ferrari is our race leader. We gather that the team of car number 12 waited 45 seconds while the driver change was going on before they made their tyre stop, and that's why they're nearly a lap behind everybody else. And Diana is in the pit lane with Godfrey Jones.
Well, it's turning out to be quite an interesting race here, although it's not over yet, but coming into that pit stop window, you were actually in the lead.
We'd had a good drive. Stayed out as long as I could to keep it dry, and because we were on the wets, I just left it that fraction too late, just locked them up coming into the pits, and they clocked me at 69 right at the entrance. So that's a stop-go penalty.
It's challenge after challenge.
Yes, I mean, we had a good dice after the safety car. We managed to get past him and pull away a bit, and I thought it was just stupid, absolutely stupid.
Mea culpa from Godfrey Jones. Now race leader Duncan Cameron needs to get out of this squeeze he's in. He's between 4th place car number 12, Phil Burton, and the car behind, Chris Hyman, is in 5th. Race leader between them. He could do without that sort of pressure. Duncan Cameron needs to get clear and get out on his own, but we hear that the safety car is about to come out. Oh, and just too late to catch the leaders. Yes, they finally decided that Jody Firth will need rescuing from that gravel trap. And we're with Craig Wilkins. Now, this car is in 2nd place. Don't forget, the safety car is going to really interrupt the race. They're going to have to shuffle the lead around to get him back behind the safety car. So behind Craig Wilkins, the Jones brothers Ascari, that is 2nd and 3rd, those two silver cars. The Mosler still 4 laps down as the leader continues, but he will have to back right off. And of course that'll put him with his rivals right behind him, and this battle for 4th and 5th will close right up as well. The Black Moser of Dan Brown several laps behind, and Diana's with his teammate Gregor Fiskett.
Gregor, your home event seems to be proving quite a challenge.
It was really it was horrible out there at the beginning, and you know, I've never driven Knockhill in the wet before, and any time you went near the curbs, I mean, they just, you know, I got a couple of lucky ones where I touched the curb and it gave me a fright, but and I saw a few other cars spinning out there, but yeah, you're always on the edge, and sometimes you fall off it.
Ready to go green again. Duncan Cameron leads the queue. 2 back markers between him and the Viper. That's the GT4 car of Jody Firth on the left. And there is the Dan Brown Mosler right in front. So one disposed of, and the Mosler all over the curbs. Looks like it's going to dispose of itself if it's not careful. Viper in 2nd, the Ascari in 3rd. And the white Ferrari number 12 is 4th. This is in fact a battle for 6th. Between the Ford GT and Hector Lester's Ferrari. So the Mosler trying to unlap itself and go 3 laps down. Duncan Cameron lets him go through, which is kind of him, but very kind to Craig Wilkins, who is now closing in from behind. Now, don't forget, a number of cars had adjustments on the grid, and I think Wilkins' car softened off a little bit to survive the rain, and that means he's struggling a little bit in the dry. David Jones having a really good bite down the inside there, looking for 2nd place. He thinks he could win it from here, and I'm not sure I disagree either. He's the quickest of the lead 3 cars, the red Ferrari, the silver Viper, the silver Ascari, pulling away from the rest. And Jones is the quickest. They've won race 1. They would dearly love a double race winning weekend. There is Phil Burton in 4th position. That white Ferrari, and the red and white Ferrari, Chris Hyman, that's 5th place. So the battle's spread out a little bit, except for 2nd place, and through goes David Jones. 2nd time he has a look, he gets through safely. It does look a little as though Craig Wilkins is being more and more hamstrung by the drying track. The slicks are giving plenty of grip, the car may be rolling a little bit, maybe just not liking the bumps so much. Bright blue sky coming through overhead. So hopefully no more chance of rain, because that would really put the cat among the pigeons here. So stop-go penalty we're now hearing for the 2nd place car. David Jones, I was just about to say, is really hauling in the race leader. The car twitching front and rear underneath him, but he has been given another speeding penalty, and this must be him this time. He came in to serve one that was earned by twin brother Godfrey when they came in for the driver change, and coming in to serve that penalty, he too was speeding. So that's 1 whoops apiece from the twins. Not sure that's going to put them in a very even frame of mind, though. They will be doubly annoyed with themselves. Instead of kicking each other, they'll be kicking themselves, which is tantamount to the same thing, I suppose. Now he's going to have to get in quick and serve it, but slow down, for goodness sake. There's the man with the gun at the top of the hill again. Don't think he'll be getting a pint from them after the race, will he? Measures you in, measures you out. Another stop-go penalty. And there is Godfrey in the black and white race suit. He looks about as livid as David is. That gives the lead of the race then quite comfortably to Duncan Cameron. So the perfect time for Diana to catch up with his teammate Matt Griffin in the pits.
But a bit to go here, and it keeps changing.
Yeah, I mean, we've just had another safety car here, which jumbled things up a little bit, but Duncan's done a fantastic job. He actually passed the Jones brothers before their stop and go penalty. So we're leading now, although there's 7 or 8 minutes to go. So the way this race has gone, anything can happen. So just fingers crossed. But yeah, so far Duncan's doing an incredible job. So let's see.
And here comes the lead group over the hill. We're on board with Hector Lester, and that's the race leader. Race leader Duncan Cameron slowing dramatically, and the Viper goes through. Goodness me. Well, as Matt Griffin said, only a few minutes left. No drive. The engine is still running, but it's lost drive. Something has gone bang in the transmission. He's got no option but to roll to a halt with the Viper in front in the dying seconds of the race. Unbelievable chain of events here. Mistakes in the pit lane, stop and go penalties, speeding infringements, spins, rain, wets, slicks, everything you could think of, plus the kitchen sink, and somehow the Viper heads onto the last lap in front. Phil Burton in second place by inches from Chris Hyman. Look at this last lap chance for Hyman coming up. So the leader spun, the white Ferrari spent an extra 45 seconds in the pit lane. Chris Hyman having his best run of the year, and the Jones brothers, 2 speeding infringements, robbing them of a double race winning weekend here. It does look as though Craig Wilkins is going to take it comfortably to the line, and Phil Burton should hold on in front for second place. Out of the hairpin for the final time, the checkered flag awaits. They won at Spa, they win again at the mini Spa at Knockhill. What a dramatic race. Victory for the Viper crew. Second and third for the Ferraris. And the Ascari is in fourth. Our GT4 winners, Ian Stinton and Paul Marsh. Jody Firth a few laps behind, driving on his own. So confirmation of the Marsh-Stinton GT4 win. 3 Ferraris in the top 5. Balbiani and Hyman on the podium with Wilcox and Burton ahead of them. But the winners, Scott and Wilkins.
It was quite a race, wasn't it? There was so much going on all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, we were expecting rain. We were expecting a little bit later on in the race. And obviously the start was a bit of a pandemonium. Played into our hands a little bit because we've been struggling with setup and grip all weekend around here.
A good second. Unfortunately, had a bit of a problem in our pit stop where we lost 45 seconds. If it hadn't been for that, we might have won one.
It's brilliant, and it's not like a win, but it's third, and I just wanted to probably dedicate this to Joe Tandy, who helped me a lot when I was starting out driving as well.
Ian Stinton closes the gap on lead at Jody Firth. Nigel Moore on duty at Le Mans, so not racing here in Knockhill this weekend. But it's even closer in the overall championship. This time the Joneses fumble their way to the top, but only 11 points cover the top 8 drivers.
So a couple of exciting but unusual races here at Knockhill. We hope you've enjoyed all of the action. We'll be heading back down south for the next one at Snetterton in Norfolk. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Coming up next this morning here on 4, plenty of lively racing gossip and top tips on the morning line.